Inspired by the recent live-action Minecraft movie, I set off to create a similar experience by changing the look of my game and using mods to tell a story. Except this story involves spending 100 days to build the most beautiful medieval settlement the world has ever known.
Hello everyone, and welcome to my Minecraft movie 100 days video. Here we are in Minecraft. Now it looks a little bit different. That's because we are using the bare bones mod pack. Not mod pack, resource pack, gosh. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, this is a very popular resource pack that basically makes Minecraft look just like the trailers. And I just had to use it. And with, you know, good old Minecraft movie coming out, I had to try it. I had to try this video idea, and this was inspired primarily by Legundo and also by Bose MC. Now, if you haven't checked out their videos yet, I will link it in the description below. But I want to give credit where credit is due. But this is my iteration of the 100 Days Minecraft Movie Challenge. So one key difference is that in Legundo's video, he uses the physics mod, but for me, I'm not really a big fan of it. I think it just kind of gets in the way visually, I guess, if I were to say. I mean, it's cool, you know, don't get me wrong, but just not my cup of tea. So here we just have changed a couple of things, and I also have some of my own additions as well as, you know, different structure generation mods and whatnot. What is that? Oh, it's the jungle over there. We have the Distant Horizons mod installed, so it really just, I guess you could say, expands our view distance without hurting our performance. Oh, it's one of those underwater caves again. Oh, would you look at that? There's some iron there and whatnot. I think it would be a good idea for us to collect some iron. Also some sheep. I should get this coal. Oh, there you go. Thank God for the Veinminer. Veinminer? Veinminer. The Veinminer, not Veinminer. I don't know why I swapped those two, but I meant to say the Veinminer mod. All right, let's make a stone pickaxe, and then on top of that, I could also make a furnace. All right, buddy. Do you have any friends nearby? Oh, some sheep. Yes. Let's turn into a red bed. Ah, yeah, the classic. All right, nice. One of the first things I want to set up is a base camp and a place to live in. Honestly, this area that we spawned next to is pretty darn cool. I won't lie. It's huge. It's just like a big mountain right behind us. There's a jungle of some sort over there. I think a good area for us to live would be like down by that coast there. I think that would look so good if we like build a little medieval village or something like that. Something that Steve might build. So for the next couple of days, I spent my time gathering resources. The most important one was iron. I even stumbled upon a huge cave and almost died to the zombies, so I decided to change my plans. Remembering that iron can spawn at high elevations, I made my way to the top of this mountain peak. It was here that I was greeted with a huge array of iron ore, which I happily dug until I had about 2.5 stacks. After that, I returned home to do some terraforming and chopped down some wood. Once that was finished, the last thing I did was mine a bunch of stone, as we'll need it to create our very first house, and with that began the construction of our home. Are you guys ready to see our starter house? Voila, look at that. I went a little too far. But look at this. It's so cozy, so small, and it gets the job done. Let me go into free cam mode so I can show you guys the entire 360 of how it looks like. I don't know why I left the crafting table behind there, but inside, it's simple. Like I always say, I always imagine that houses are just glorified storage units, and that's basically what it is. It's got everything I need, all the essentials: the furnace, my cutters and stone cutters and saws, and a bunch of storage and chests up here for me to put my junk in, and a place to sleep. That's what really matters now. But
I would say that for this video, we're going to focus a little bit more on smaller builds, but multiple builds. Typically, I make very large builds or stuff that stands out, but I think that for the theme of this video, I want to kind of lean in towards telling a story, and I want to tell a story about a village and just really cool stuff and lore like that. So we're gonna get started on a new building, and I think this one we are gonna call it the town hall because every village needs a town hall to hold their meetings and whatnot. And I think that a good place to put it would be somewhere around here. I'm thinking about making somewhere central, something central here, to make it look kind of cool, but I want to make a town hall. I might place it opposite of our starter house, and that place will have a bunch of seats and maybe even a lectern if we can acquire one. But yeah, we are gonna grab some of our blocks like the stone bricks, and we're gonna kind of keep going with the same theme of stone bricks and oak wood. I'm kind of lazy, and although I do see there are spruce trees up there, I don't really want to go all the way up there just to gather spruce trees and farm a bunch of spruce. I just kind of want to build a lot. I'm tired of grinding for materials, right? That's like the last thing I want to do now. So, the town hall, a place where villagers hold meetings to discuss the future of their settlement. In our little village, a mayor has been elected to be in charge of its people. They hold weekly meetings to plan out new construction and document ideas on how to improve the lives of the villagers. Every day, new problems emerge. The lack of food and water, tight living spaces, and most importantly, a name to call their village. You see, the people have been going back and forth on what to name their village, so much so that they have yet to agree upon a name. And so, each week, they try to tackle their biggest issue and fail every time. Ladies and gentlemen, we finally have the town hall completed. It's a very small and humble town hall. Nothing too fancy, nothing too tall. And, let me show you guys the exterior. Here's what it looks like. We have a tower at the corner over here because I feel like it'll look really good. And when we acquire gold one day, we'll add a bell inside of it. So that way, when they have a meeting and stuff, somebody can climb up to the tower and hit the bell so everybody knows to come to the town hall. But anyways, here is the interior. We have a bunch of benches and seats and whatnot. And over here is basically the podium. This is a very, very humble town hall, very humble town. They don't have a lot to offer right now. So right now all they have is a sign as their podium. So it gets the job done. Just use your imagination. This is a podium. And then over here we have a spiral staircase that heads on all the way up to the tower. Can't really see too much from here. If anything, it just looks kind of cool. But yeah, this is the humble town hall. Now, I'm not too sure what I want to call this settlement of ours yet. I only imagine that it's a very small, close-knit group of people who have decided to make this place their home. And they've elected a strong and competent leader who, plans out how they're going to survive for the next couple of months. So that's why they have a town hall here. But the next thing that I want to build is most definitely some sort of central, monument, I guess, a central area that will, make this place look a lot more complete. And I thought about adding a statue. A stone statue made out of, stone and stone bricks and such like that. So I'm gonna, look at some inspiration, and then we're gonna get started on building that stone statue. You know what? Actually, I've decided that a statue wouldn't look good here. It will just block out too much of the view here. We wouldn't be able to see the, the town hall. We wouldn't be able to see the starter house from across the town hall. So I think instead we're going to add a well. I mean, it doesn't make any sense because we have plenty of water here, but let's imagine that this is salt water and magically there's an aquifer all the way underneath this ground here that goes really, really far, and somehow the villagers are able to drill a hole down into the aquifer to acquire a fresh source of water. So we are going to make a well instead and add right into the center because I think that it's small enough to where it won't block our view, and It'll add some some character to our surrounding area. I didn't realize I wasn't recording. I was talking to myself the whole time. But okay. So what I did was originally I was gonna make a statue, but instead I decided to turn it into a well, because the statue would be too big and it kind of block the view. Like to me, it's always about aesthetics. I want to walk out and see, a good amount. But having a statue, it's a little too tall. So maybe we'll add a statue in a place that doesn't, block us from seeing stuff. But yeah, we have this cute, small, tiny little well that, has an infinite water source for us to use. And I also made these paths around the area here for us to walk around. So I apologize, but yeah, we're gonna remember to hit that record button again. Anyways, the next thing that I want to do is build a library, because every town, every village, every settlement needs a way to keep track of its history and its lore. So I decided that we would build a library over here, and it would make a path that kind of curves out that way that goes somewhere else. But I definitely want to add a library right here, and we're gonna make it a little taller than our houses here, because these are only like 1 story, but having 2-story libraries would come in very nicely. The problem is that we don't really have a lot of sugarcane or any cows. I'm a little lazy. I don't really feel like doing animal husbandry. I just kind of want to I didn't mean to have that there. I just kind of want to just build. So we're just going to do that, and we're going to have a bunch of empty bookshelves until we, feel like putting together a animal farm. But who knows if I'll even do that. Who knows if I'll even do that. But yeah, we are going to gather some of the materials because we're running low on stone especially. And we're going to need a lot of cobblestone to make the roofs. These beautiful roofs that I'm actually really starting to fall in love with, because, it's got a variety of cobblestone and stone bricks, as well as these blocks in there that kind of make it look a little bumpy. Looks like it's being fortified. But anyways, I'm gonna go to my little secret spot where I gather stone, and we will be right back.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I have a whole lot of cobblestone here that we can use. I need to cook some of it up first, and then from there we can get started on creating our beautiful library. Every settlement should have a place to store their lore and history, and for our village, we have created this library. It houses hundreds of stories and folklore created by its settlers, from strange tales of mysterious creatures to real-life accounts of adventures held by its founding fathers. The library is always filled with activities as people of all ages flock to the place for a good story to read. Children scour the bookshelves for picture books, and adults host game nights for locals to attend. One child in particular is a well-known bookworm who has read all of the books inside the library. Hopefully, as the village continues to grow and expand, new books and tales can be acquired for the villagers to read. So I have the library to show you guys. It is right behind me. Look at this beauty. It's super simple, and I really like this little porch design that I put. I mean, you can't really go far, but it looks kind of cozy. It let me go into free cam so I can show you guys a 360 view of the library. It's very humble, but the most important thing is that it's 2 stories tall. Inside, we have the first floor, which is where the librarian sits to, watch over the town's records, or, holds most of the villagers' histories and all that stuff, all that jazz. And here's some seats for, people to come and check out a book and read and stuff like that. And then if we go up here, we have the second floor, which is also just another area for them to sit and hang out. And these are more of the more important books that might talk about how the previous mayor embezzled some monies for his own personal gains, but stuff like that. But the library is complete, and let me go into third person again, free cam again, to show you guys how our village is coming along, and it's looking very well, very good. The next thing that I want to build
I think that every sort of village, I say that a lot, they need a church or some sort of place of worship, and I think that a church would look really good. The problem is that we don't have enough stone. We did do a lot of digging, but actually, let me look. Not sure if this will be enough because we smelted a good amount of the stone, and I want to make it in a combination of stone and stone bricks as well as like cooked smooth stone. So we're gonna cook up the rest of the stone again for a second time, and then from there we're also probably gonna gather a bunch more cobblestone and then get started on putting the church. I'm not too sure where I want it exactly, but I want it to be in a place that kind of stands out. So I'm thinking about adding it to this corner over here that I am standing on. So I'm gonna go and gather some more stone and we can get started on creating the church.
For the church, I was aiming for a more medieval style. Maybe Gothic, if that's the correct term. Anyways, it was going to be situated right next to the town hall. I like to imagine that the villagers attend church quite frequently as a place of worship. Faith is an important part of their lives and it keeps them going when times are rough. Perhaps they had a terrible winter, and if this year they prayed more, then this winter things wouldn't be as bad. Whatever the case, we can agree that a religion in this area serves to improve the morale of its people. I couldn't think of anything cool or any cool religions unique to this game, but I like to imagine that the villagers worship a benevolent deity.
Man, oh man, look at this beautiful church that we put together. Let me go into free camp so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. This is, a very medievally design that I started using a while ago. I forgot what video I was using, but I was watching, but ever since then, I just really like this style of roof design. So let me show you how it works. Basically what you do is you put upside down stairs and then you alternate with slabs. And then after you're done with that, you just put in a bunch of, walls, stone walls. And then to make the pointy roof, you have a single block and then an upside down stairs, single block, upside down stairs. And you repeat that pattern up until you reach the center point. And then, with the wooden roof here, I decided to, protrude it out by adding these windows just so it doesn't look so flat and kind of boring. But yeah, it looks really good. Let me show you guys the interior of it. Very simple, very cozy. We have a bunch of benches and seats like that, and we have lanterns hanging up above us, as well as the podium. We're still using a sign because we don't have a lectern, and that's okay. I actually really like just using the sign. I think it, does the job and it conveys the message. So it's nothing too special. So imagine that this is where most of the townsfolk come to, worship and venerate their god. What kind of god? I do not know, but it's definitely given off this medievally churchy vibe. Anyways, the next thing that I want to put together is a blacksmith. Now, I'm not too sure exactly where I have decided yet. I don't want it to block this section here because I think it looks really good. I think I want to add a pathway of some sort. So if we do add a blacksmith, maybe it'll be in this corner over here, or maybe even behind the house that, or somewhere over here. But the problem is that we don't have enough wood. So I'm going to have to go and chop down a bunch of trees. We already did a lot of tree chopping, and as you can see, I don't know why I can't speak today, a lot of the trees are gone. I don't know why. I thought that the saplings were replanted, but I guess not. So, yep, we'll be back. I have a lot of wood now, a pretty hefty amount, but I then came up with a even better idea. So our land here looks pretty plain, and we don't have a lot to work with. So I think that the better thing that we could do was instead get a bunch of stone and a bunch of stone bricks, right? And then we make like a port that basically kind of connects all the way around this area here, and it could end around here or something like that. I mean, we can add some ships or something like that too if we have the time, but let me just gather a bunch of stone. Might take a couple of days, and then I will show you guys what I'm talking about. furnaces are cooking with stone. What I'm gonna do next is make the foundations of our sort of port dock area, and it's gonna be on this level. It's gonna extend out this way. I'm gonna kind of use some cobblestone for the darker parts of the docks, and then we'll go up to just probably stone bricks. I think it'll just look better like that, and a little mix of stone as well. So we'll be right back. Look at this beautiful, beautiful dock. I mean, man, it just looks so atmospheric. Let me go into third person so I can really give you guys a scale of how everything looks. Look at that. Like we really made a square. Is it a perfect? Perfect? I don't know. It looks like it's pretty close. It looks pretty close, but man, it just makes this place look so much better. And on top of that, we have so much more space to build. Oh my god. Okay, so this Enderman. Oh, we have to. He's the priest. He's the priest. We have to trap him in a boat, and then we're gonna put him in the boat. And this will be the Church of the Holy Grass Block. Come here. If you, well, just go in the, you go in the boat. Can you sit in the boat? There you go. He's in the boat. This will be the church of the holy grass block. Yes, Church of the Holy Grass. Yeah, Church of the Holy Grass. And this is our head priest. His name is Joe. Priest Joe. Say hello to the camera. All right, cool. He's just gonna chill in here while I work on the next project. And like I said, the next project that I want to do is work on the blacksmith. That was the original project, but then I got carried away with building this beautiful dock. But yeah, we're gonna get started on putting together this blacksmith. And so the blacksmith is finally complete. Let me go into free cam so I can show you guys what it looks like. We got a very simple build with a shed, a main building, and an outside workshop area here. This took a bit of time because I had to set up all these blast furnaces. I ran out of iron at one point, and so I had to travel all the way back up to the mountains over there and dig up a bunch of iron. I'll call that Iron Mountain from now on because iron is just spawning all over that place. And then the lava took a long time for me to acquire, but I didn't realize that we had that big lava stream over there. I just got it quickly right now. So I was like looking around underground and stuff in the caves nearby, and there were no lava sources. And then when I came out and looked around, yeah, here that lava was, that lava waterfall. So that was good. This is the log shed where the blacksmith stores his wood and sticks and stuff to, you know, shove into the furnaces to cook. This is a hammer. I would imagine that this is a hammer. And inside we have a small kitchen area for us to use, some more furnaces and stuff like that, cabinets and whatnot. And then this is, I imagine, like a toolbox. There's like a, maybe, you know, they can open it up and there's a bunch of hammers and tools and stuff in there. Just use your imagination with that. And then upstairs is, you know, an attic, a bedroom. This is where the blacksmith sleeps. Some more storage units and stuff. A little bucket, a wooden bucket, and more furnaces for us to smelt our things. But yeah, that is, that is the blacksmith. It is coming along very nicely. Our little, you know, town, our little village of ours. I'll just stick with the village because I think the village, I keep, you know, switching back between town and village. But with that out of the way, now I have to think about what else I want to build. Oh, actually, you know what? Since we're done with this blacksmith, I think the next building that would actually make a lot of sense is to build a tavern. You know, because I imagine that, you know, lots of travelers would come by. Ooh, cool, interesting information over there. Lots of travelers would come by and they need a place to stay. They can't stay in, you know, these houses. They gotta find a nice place to stay. So we're gonna build a beautiful looking tavern that people can, you know, rest up in. And I think that a good area to build it, that, you know, well, oof, I almost looked at him in the eyes. That will have enough space, that will provide us enough space at this corner over here. We can build from this corner all the way to this corner here, and it will look amazing. So I am gonna get some more materials and get stuff ready, and we're gonna do a time lapse of me building this beautiful tavern. So the tavern is finally completed. Would you look at that? I decided to give it the name of the Oakland Tavern. I think that it sounds better. It's got a good ring to it. And let me go into free camp to show you guys how it looks. And yeah, it's a double story, triple story building that has an attic and a chimney right in the center of it all. And if we go out a little bit farther, we can see that this is what it looks like. Our settlement here is coming out very well. I'm not too sure what name I want to give it yet, but yeah, let me show you guys the interior. If we go inside, we have a bit of a little lunchroom area with a bunch of tables and seats with bowls and cups and whatnot. Here is the central heating system. Oh, I should fix that, but just ignore it. Central heating system and everything. And then over here is the chef's kitchen where they cook up a bunch of food. Another set of furnaces over here to cook up the food and some fruit baskets and whatnot. So this is the first floor, very neat. And if we go on up, here's the second floor. The only thing that you guys will notice here is that the rooms are not furnished yet. That's because I don't have any sheep, but it's not a big deal. You know, it's still in the progress. You know, I'm sure eventually the owner will furnish the bedrooms and stuff, but yeah, so far, so good. And then upstairs here, we have the third floor, and you know, the rooms are also not furnished, but yeah, this is smaller rooms up here for people to stay in, a lot cheaper on the third floor, but also some areas for people to, you know, talk and socialize with one another. But yeah, that is the Oakland Tavern. Now that we have this done, I just have to think about what else would look good in this area, because if we go into free camp, there's still plenty of room for us to build in, like, you know, sections along this path here, even right here. But I don't really want to block this part. I'm thinking about maybe putting some statues at the corners over here because it won't really block the view. And then this section here would be, you know, a good area to get some some shops and sellers to sell their wares, and as well as over here would be another nice area as well. So I'm going to do a bit of brainstorming, and while I'm thinking about what I want to build, I want to go back around and do some resource gathering, because I think I'm running low on stone, and wood I am very low on. We do have a chest over here that I put a bunch of my materials in, but I know that this is not going to be enough for the next couple of builds, so we are going to probably spend the next couple of days just grinding away at chopping down some trees and getting some stone. So we'll be back. So I've chopped down quite the amount of trees, replanted a few of them, and we got a lot of saplings, guys. We have so many oak saplings that I've collected all this time, and what I'm doing with it is just setting up an automatic bone meal maker. It's not like the most efficient, but it gets the job done, and we'll get some bone meal to use. I just remembered that there is a thing called cottonseed. Now if I break a couple of these these tall grass or short grass, I have a chance of spawning in some cotton seeds. I know there are wheat seeds and hop seeds, and hops I could use to craft and brew alcohol. But if we can get some cotton seeds, we can make wool. We can actually turn it into wool. So I'm gonna go around and try to break a couple of these grass blocks or whatever, these grass, and get a cottonseed, and then we can set up a little cotton farm. I think that will really help us out a lot. Cotton seeds, we got one cottonseed. We just gotta use the bone meal and make a bunch of this cottonseed, and then think of a place to actually set up a small cotton farm. I think I'll probably set it up in this area where there are some grass growing over here. Okay, I think this little area here would be perfect to build our cotton farm. So I'm gonna do a little bit of terraforming and flatten it out a little bit more so we can have some space, and then we're gonna plant our cottonseed. Oh, the creeper, what's he doing here? Oh my god, just blew up a part of our farm. Now we gotta fix it again. Okay, hold up. You know what? It might just be better to raise the level of this this platform, so that way they are unable to get across. I don't know, I gotta think of a way to build this so that way it looks good and it has protection. All right, this is the amount of cotton that we were able to plant, and if we turn all this into wool, we have about close to a stack, not entirely, 43 to be exact. But if you're wondering, why do I want to make a bunch of wool, and why do I want to plant so much cotton? Well, I think I'm going to add a marketplace over here. I think a marketplace at the shore right here would look absolutely fantastic. You know me, marketplaces. I've added a bunch of marketplaces in my time playing Minecraft and all the previous videos, which if you haven't already, make sure you check it out on my channel. In all those, 100 days videos, I add a bunch of marketplaces that sell, a variety of stuff, right? I don't know, food, plants, fruits, whatever it is. And we're going to need a lot of cotton if we want to really grow enough white wool. Craft enough white wool, and then gather some dye, so that way we can also make different colored tents as well. So we are going to go on a bit of an adventure to find some dye. I think it'll be good because we've been just chilling and staying in the same area here, and it'll be a good change of pace for us to go and explore. So after the sun sets and we go to sleep, the next morning we are gonna head out on a grand adventure to look for dye. So after a whole day of wandering around and collecting flowers in the mountains and stuff, I have about this amount of flowers to turn into dye. So I think we should be okay. It should be enough. The only problem now is that we need We need a lot of wool, at least for the tent portion of our marketplace. So yeah, I am gonna try to farm some more cotton and get that out the way. But we have a lot of red dye, lots of magenta dye, and decent amount of blue dye. I wish we had a little bit more, but we are pretty good on yellow dye too. So now the next step that we have to do is to get some good old cotton. Man, oh man, did it take a very long time for me to finally complete the marketplace. But here it is. Here is what it looks like. Let me go into free camp so I can show you guys a much better view. And man, it just looks so colorful, so much more beautiful, and it adds so much more vibrancy to our little town here. And let me show you what I have decorated in each stall. This one, I made it into some sort of like a food stall. I'm assuming that the people who own the family that own this place, they cook inside of the food stall here and make all these delicious food. And this is where their customers sit. As you can see, I placed some chairs here, some bottles to drink, as well as plates and bowls and whatnot. Over here is just some more decorations. They sell more glasses and mushrooms. Here are some, hay bales and stuff like that, more mushrooms and stuff. I got kind of stumped on what to decorate each stall with. And over here we have some saplings and vegetables and, herbs and whatnot. I'm assuming that's what it is. And over here, same thing. So, very simple, nothing too crazy. But the thing that really took the longest time was getting all the dyes together, getting all the wool together. And I even changed it to not make it, just wool, but smooth stone, cooked smooth stone. So that definitely adds some variations to the tent designs. But another thing that I want to show you guys is that I finally furnished the interior of these bedrooms. So let me just go inside. All of these bedrooms look a little different, but they all have a desk and a chair in some sort of way for people to put their stuff in, storage units and whatnot. Nothing too fancy, but yeah, we had a lot of leftover wool and a lot of red dye. So I decided, why not finally furnish the interior of these bedrooms? So with that out of the way, now I have to think about what else I want to build. We only have about 30 days left, and it's gonna be a bit of a crunch for us to build all these other structures. I want to fill it up at least in this little L-shaped section over here, and a little something over here as well. So while I sit out here and look at the sunset, I'm gonna do some brainstorming on what I want to create, and probably go back into the mines to do a little bit of digging to, replenish our materials that we used up for this little project of the marketplace. So after some brainstorming, what I'm deciding to do is to create some more residential homes. I think that in this section here, this L-shaped,
area, the small area here, I'm gonna make a couple more residential homes. We only have one so far, and that's literally our home base, our storage unit, if you could say. So we're gonna add some more communal homes, and then super far away from over here, right behind the town hall, I'm going to make what is called a communal, what do you call it? Hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna make what is called a communal oven, which is what you expect, you know, it's just a building that is basically, you know, used just to bake a bunch of stuff, and everybody can come here and bake all their breads and whatnot and clean up after themselves. So this section right here will be a very good area because it's very central already, for not central, but a high traffic area, I guess you could say. And then at the small little L-shaped corner over here, we're gonna add some communal homes. So some communal homes, just some residential homes for people to live in. Yep. I have finished adding a couple of new residential homes for the people of this village to live in. So we have 1 and 2 residential homes, as well as this tower, because I didn't want to build a 3x3 house over here. Ooh. And so I added this tower as a watchtower. We also have a wandering trader here, which I haven't checked for the trades yet, but their trades are pretty decent. Nothing too special that I really need. I could really could do with some like cactus or something, but unfortunately he's not trading any of that. But yeah, let me show you guys the first house, which is a much smaller home. It's got 2 stories. We have a small kitchen area here, and then upstairs we have a bedroom with a small study desk. So very small and cozy. And then over here, here's the second home. It's slightly larger, nothing too much. The first floor is a kitchen, living room area with some storage and chests and stuff like that, some empty bookcases. And upstairs is a little bit of a bigger, more you know, cramped, I guess you could say. It's big, but it's also cramped because of the way I laid out the furniture and whatnot. We have a bed tucked away at this little corner over here. So thank God that we have a lot of wool to make more beds. And here is the tower. Let us go all the way up. As you can see, it is spiral staircase. It's a spiral staircase that you know, goes left because you know, back then people were mainly right-handed. So if you were defending a tower, you want to have the stairway going that way. And then here it is. Here's the view from the top of the tower. Very very scenic, if you're gonna ask me. Let's go into free camp so I can show you guys how everything is coming along. And that only took us probably a couple of days, actually, maybe like 2 or 3 days to put together this little section over here. But the next thing that we need to do is that communal baking area, whatever it's called. So I am gonna go around, gather a bunch of bricks because we want to make a nice chimney for our communal bakery. And we should have enough stone, but if not, then you're gonna see me doing a bit of resource gathering in this little section coming up next.
Okay, so I have an idea for a new building that we can put in our little town here. It's going to be in this section here because it's pretty empty and we have quite the amount of space left to fill. And I think that this area would be very suitable for what is a post office. You know, it's right next to the tavern. So I would imagine that the people who go and live in this tavern, they send mail to their loved ones to faraway distant lands. And, you know, it's very convenient to have it right next to the tavern. So why not? And I think we still have a lot of leftover materials. So we'll just move the chests over here and then get started on building our beautiful post office. Our post office is finally done. It's a little close quarters over here, but let me give you guys a tour of what it looks like. First and foremost, let's go into a free cam, fly around so I can show you guys what it looks like. I mean, it looks pretty good. It's nothing too fancy. It's a little crowded in this section here because I didn't realize that we didn't have enough space here, but it doesn't look too bad if you don't stare at it for too long. Anyways, here is the interior. This is the waiting area. It's the place that takes the longest. If you've ever been to a real-life post office, you know that the lines can be very long. A little crowded, so that's why we have seats here for people to sit on. And then here is the reception area. They have desks and files and whatnot here. You know, this is where they drop off the drop off the mail and stuff like that. And then here is the office for the, you know, branch manager to sit and do his paperwork and whatnot. And the super top important files will go behind here. And then up here is more storage where they can put more important documents and items and whatnot that needs to be shipped. But yeah, it's pretty simple. You know, they probably load up stuff on caravans and things and whatnot, as well as, you know, people who actually walk on foot, mailmen, mailwomen, you know, they will, you know, take the letters and stuff and walk distant miles or ride horses all the way to different lands and countries to deliver mail. A little dangerous. Either that or they'll send messenger pigeons, which I don't think we have any. But yeah, that post office is finally completed. Now it's kind of the struggle again. You know, if you guys have seen my previous 100 days videos, when it gets close to 100 days, I kind of don't really know what to do. I don't really know what to build. So, you know, one thing I thought about putting over here was a granary or storage, because we do have the little farm here and it's been doing us very well. I mean, I just don't like farming too much because it just takes so much time to like tend to your farmland and stuff like that. So in this video, we just literally made a small farm just for the cotton mainly and a little bit of the wheat. But a granary storage would look good here, as well as possibly, you know, some other types of buildings like a what do you call it? A tailor, you know, to make clothes and stuff like that. But I'm not too sure. One thing we are running low on is wood. So while I chop down some trees for the next couple of days, I'll think of something good to build in this little section here. Okay, everybody, it is finally day 100, and it's time to give you guys a full tour of what we have built together. Now, as you can see, I put in a gate as well as some fortifications around the corners here in case there are some bandits or bad guys that try to come across. But this is, the main entrance to our little town. And we have a wagon here that I put together, a little shed here with some storage units. And this, the building that we've been working on, that we got rid of the little farm plot here, we placed on top of it the Workers Guild. Now, this is where I imagined people come in and they come up to the line here, and the clerks at, the front desk give them, tasks and duties and, adventures that they can go on, that they can earn some gold and some coin from. So this is the first floor. And then over here is just a little storage section. I didn't make a basement, but a basement would look good. It just takes too much time. So we go up to here. This is the spiral staircase that leads on to the second floor. We have another storage room here for, books and files and whatnot. And then over here is the secretary. This is where the secretary works. They have meetings in here, and, they handle all the paperwork and all the finances and whatnot. And then at the last and final floor, if we go up here, we have a room with some more storage, some more plants and decorations. And here is a very tiny storage unit. And then in here is where the guild master sits. They sit here and, deal with the more important matters like subjugating monsters and killing the Ender Dragon and whatnot. And if we go up here, here's the tower. And we can really see, oh, what the heck? How did that guy get up there? Okay, so there's a wandering trader up there on top of that tower somehow. But yeah, you have a pretty good view of the surrounding area. So this is the Workers Guild. Like I said, it's the place where the local inhabitants of our town, which I haven't even given a name yet, I'll have to think about it. They come here to find work and jobs and odds and ends and stuff like that. And then as you can see, these are the residential homes that we've added, very small. This one's just a normal, am I going all the way around? Very small, normal residential home. This is a tower that has the wandering trader on here. And this is also another residential home that we have. And then this one actually is the library that I call the archives. One of the first builds that we put together. And as you can see, it's very cozy. Lots of desks for people to sit on and bookshelves that are empty because I haven't made any, books at all. And this 100-day video, I have not touched like paper or leather or at all. This is the community hall. This is where they, elect the new mayor and stuff like that. This is supposed to be a lectern, but I was lazy and I didn't have a book, so I just decided to use a sign as a lectern to get the job done. And then over here we have the church of the holy dirt block, holy grass block. There's 2 grass blocks in here somehow now. I think we got 2 Endermen. We got 2 priests in this place. I thought there was just 1. Oh my gosh, we got 2 priests in here. Maybe we'll call it the Church of the Endergrass. I don't know, something cool. Maybe somebody in the comment section below will give me a good name or something like that. I don't know. But yes, this is the church that we put together. As you can see, it's very very simple, very unique. And then here we have the marketplace. This is one of the more ambitious projects that took a very long time because we had to get a lot of the cotton. And that's why we had to plant a lot of the cotton seeds in order to, get cotton to make wool and then decorate the interiors. We have one that here is like it's more like a hibachi. Some of them sell potions, some of them sell plants and vegetables and stuff like that. So this is the marketplace right by the shore. And then we have another little wagon here. Here is Rusty's Forge. This is a, blacksmith, the local blacksmith that puts together tools and stuff like that. They have a chimney here that, disperses all the smoke. Some more blast furnaces. I basically needed a building to put blast furnaces and normal furnaces in. And here is a kitchen area. And then up here is where the blacksmith sleeps, their living quarters. So that is the forge. And then over here is basically the first building. This is our starter house. It is a glorified storage unit. It's just, I don't use it very much other than smelting stuff, sleeping, and putting away all my junk. And we've, done pretty well without, creating a massive storage system. We just used like 3 or 4 chests most of the time. What's another place that I could show you guys? If we go over here, here's the Oakland Tavern. This is one of our more also ambitious projects. This is a very large build that took a long time to build, but I really like how it turned out. We have a kitchen, lunchroom area here, and in the back here we have a kitchen where the chef prepares their meals and all that pizzazz, whatever. Very popular tourist destination. A couple of rooms up here. We got 4 rooms on the 2nd floor. They're all designed uniquely with different, layouts and whatnot. And then if we go all the way up here, we have about 4 more rooms. So this whole tavern, can host 8 people to sleep in. Maybe more if they can share a bed, 16. Maybe even, more than that if, we pull out some sleeping bags and stuff. But yeah, this is the Oakland Tavern. Here's the post office. I imagine that the people who live at the tavern or just the people in town would like to send mail to, distant relatives and friends and whatnot. Here's the waiting room where they sit and, wait in line because we know if you've been to a post office, it takes a long time to get to what you want to do. Here is the office where the branch manager sits and does their paperwork. Up here is an attic where they store most of their important documents and all that important stuff. And one thing I've also added to the tavern is this outside patio area where they have a bunch of seats here for people to eat. I think it looks way cooler. Before then it was just kind of flat, but now it looks much better. And over here is the communal oven. This is the place where people come to bake a bunch of stuff or cook a bunch of things, It's a place where, people can socialize and hang out and, share recipes and whatnot. And then here is a wagon filled with wood for people to, burn. And what else am I missing? I think that is mainly it, guys. I think that is all the, buildings that I wanted to show you guys. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, I think you guys really like the video that I have on screen right now too. So make sure you check it out if you haven't already. Also, please leave a comment down below on what you think we should name this village, and subscribe and like if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in the next video.